Hello, everyone, and welcome to an early look at Rightfully Bare Arms. Berry Arms. I keep messing that up. Uh, it is a roguelike shooter set across multiple different types of levels. You got space stations, you got spaceships. Now, they do kind of look exactly the same. In most cases, there are some levels that look different, but you're going to see a lot of the same stuff in this demo. But that is okay. Before you start, or when you start, you will have the selection of some starting weapons. Starter weapons will always have unlimited ammunition. Careful when you shoot boxes in corners because sometimes the PLU, the pleth of money, shows up in the wrong place, which kind of sucks because then you don't get the money. You have Paul Stapleton. He is your basically guide for this journey, and he kind of sets you up for success. You'll get these things called runtimes, which will give you all kinds of stuff that could be good. I can either go, any of these would be good. I'm actually going to go with, I want more money drops. The more money I have, the more likely I am to buy a weapon that is good. Or be able to buy a health kit, stuff like that. So he goes over the gambits, which are basically these, which basically when this happens, it's like, oh, here you go, you now have a potential upgrade for a weapon. And as you can see, my damage goes up, magazine goes up. This one does more damage. I'm always going to go for whatever's going to give you the most DPS. So even if you know what to do, for the first time you go through, you're going to have to talk to Paul to figure out what it is he wants you to do. And away we go into our actual journey. So a couple things about this. You have your navigation screen, which tells you kind of where you can go. You can drag it around a little bit with your mouse, but anything that you can't connect to immediately will be basically locked. So the way you choose what you want to do is check your possible rewards, and so you know like what's going to be there. So this one over here says there's definitely going to be an inspiration point, and there's probably a good chance there's going to be some cash. This one definitely has a healing kit, maybe a runtime, and maybe a new gun. Pretty good chance for a new gun. This one definitely has a gun. This one definitely has a confidence or inspiration point, and this one runtime. So of the ones that I feel like most likely would work for me, it's going to be this spot right here. As you play, you will collect different weapons, and you can basically change kind of what you're using, I think. But here's where you use your inspiration points. And this will tell you different things you can use. This is going to vary every time you play. This is going to be slightly different. I want more damage, so that's what I'm going to do. It unlocks some more trees, so I can see what would happen up here if I should choose to use that. So now I'm at my first level, and enemies are going to spawn in. And I can use the dodge mechanic to try to avoid being shot. Which sometimes works for me and sometimes doesn't work too well. Whenever you see crates or anything that can be destructible, make sure you blow it up, because you need that money so you can buy the sweet, sweet goodies. From the map screen, you can, from this overworld map, you can kind of look at basically what you have to look at. So this level basically tells me there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more rooms that I need to clear, or I don't have to clear them. But there's 5 rooms that will potentially have something in them. That might be enemies, it may be a store, it may be some kind of, um, you know, room full of cash. There's a lot of things it could be. The only way you're going to find out is actually going into it. There are a lot of obstacles that you cannot shoot through, so you're going to just kind of use those to your advantage, because if you can't shoot through it, neither can the enemies. Rooms will not open until you have completed all of the enemies in the, once you got to kill everybody before you can actually progress through. Alright, so here I have a bunch of different weapons or a health kit I could buy. Let's see, this is a firearm designed to kill bears, and this is a squirt gun. I know that the squirt gun is an automatic weapon, so I am going to go with that route. Because it will help me kind of progress through these enemies easier than the current weapon. If I get 2,500 gold, I am going to go, or, Plu, I am going to go back and get that health kit, because I took way more damage than I was expecting to right there. Sometimes during a run, the enemies are bullet sponges, and they take a lot to kill regardless of what you're using weapon types, and then sometimes they're kind of a pushover. So I don't know what's going on this time, but apparently just I'm hitting like the higher difficulties on these guys from the beginning, which sucks because I know that means I'm probably not going to get very far, which means I'm not going to be able to really show a lot of what there is to offer here. Alright, I picked up that inspiration point, so I want to use it to get something. Gain an additional heart. Nah, I don't want that. Start beat speed, extra heart. I'm going to go with the extra heart because it looks like that will be not really actually very useful. But now you can see I have extra weapons. Well, not extra weapons, but it shows that. And this is 1.5 stars. That's 2. Oh, this was 2. Okay, so I'm going to do this level because sometimes this will show up as something different. It will actually be a different type of level. Oh, good, it is. So, in the demo, I've only really experienced 2 types of levels. This level and the one that I was just on. You have to be careful on this level if you try to do your dodge across. It is possible for you to kind of dodge too far. Alright, so runtime. Let's see. Gives crate a chance to drop ammo, which would be really good. Or more ammo. I want crates to drop ammo. Finger gun doesn't look good. Alien blaster. This will do more damage, but this would also do more damage. I am gonna stick with this because it's treating me pretty good at the moment. So you'll see over here that my Space Jam is basically starting to run out. And that's why you hear the noise that's happening, because it's like, oh, you're running out of your Space Jam. So when you run out of your Radar Jam, or Space Jam as I could keep calling it, what you have to look forward to is running into the big bad boss, which hopefully I will do. Or, I mean, hopefully I'll bring the boss in so I can kind of show what the boss battle looks like. I'm very disappointed with the squirt gun's damage at the moment. I feel like it normally would do more damage. But I've updated it. Might help out a little bit. And everything's gonna go south because it's very easy to get stuck in the walls, which is kind of unfortunate because it happens so much. Chest is not always guaranteed to load, unfortunately. Well, if you're gallivanting around, use up all your radar jam as well. You've been looking at the local Galaxy Master. So now here's the boss fight, so I can actually go ahead and do that. And then that'll kind of wrap things up. You'll experience kind of relatively what it is. During your run, you can pick up additional Space Jam, and obviously the more Space Jam you pick up, the longer you are going to be able to play. The longer you can play, the more likelihood you have to actually picking up more ammunition, or not, yeah, more ammunition, more money, more health, more inspiration points, which will let you give yourself more perks. The more perks you have, really just kind of the better things are going to go. But I will be able to show you kind of like what happens after you die, so that's kind of beneficial. So for this boss, I have found that the best thing to do is try to just keep him around the corner, because he can't shoot through this table. I mean, you can't shoot through it either, but if you can keep your distance, it's going to help you, you know, a lot. You just gotta, you know, take your time. Don't do like I just did. So the only thing is he can fly over it, and he will. But you can also get far enough away from him to where he doesn't seem to understand that you're still a threat. So I'm basically cheesing it, but that's okay. So I can't even see him now. It's not about how well you do it. It's just about winning. And I really want to win. I really want to kill this guy. And it did. Success. And then our guy here, Paul's here. So normally you would get a lot of cool loot, but since it's the end of the demo, it'll be of no use to you. You can restart the game through the exit portal. Thanks for playing. Alright, well, that's the demo for you, so you could probably finish a run within 10-15 minutes, and that'll show you everything there is to know about Rightfully Bear Arms and whether or not it's a game you want to play or not. Two-person dev team, well, they're doing a good job. So it looks like early access will start July 27th of 2023, so that's really good to know if you were looking for it. I do want to show you what it's like when you die, because there is an interesting mechanic to that. I'm going to have to do a new game, which means I have to kind of go through this start, which is kind of like a tutorial. So hopefully when early access comes out, they remove this part. Once you've completed this beginning portion, the only thing that really makes sense for you to do again is grab your pistol. Everything else is kind of extra and not really necessary. But I'm trying to fast forward through all these locations so I can just... I want to die and show you what happens when you die. Oh man, a new gun? Alright. Not that it matters, because we're not gonna really... We're not really gonna use it. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take whatever upgrade I have. I'm just going to pick this level. It doesn't really matter, I just need to pick a level. Oh, this is an interesting change. So if you complete the demo, when it loads up again, you're going to have new enemies. Was not expecting that, and that's pretty cool. Oh, I forgot I was supposed to die to show you kind of like what happens when you die. Alright, so let me go and die. Oh, well, here's a fancy thing. If you just stand on this enemy, you're not going to take any damage. So, interesting. I wonder if any of the other enemies are like that. Not sure. Alright, so because I have that perk that basically when I die I get 100 health, it's like a little second wind, basically. I need this guy to kill me. Alright. So once you die for real, you're going to get this calamity that's going to happen. So basically what this is it's going to basically make it harder for you to play. So I can choose that I get worse ammo, probability is no longer shown in the intel report, or whatever the case may be. But once you start, you'll notice that I still have my gun, so that's nice. But you do lose all of your PLA unless you get a specific inspiration upgrade that is going to give you that. Alright, now we're back to the old style enemies. Alright, so final thoughts. My final thoughts on Rightfully Bear Rearms is that it is an enjoyable roguelike. It's got pretty satisfying shooting. It does depend entirely on what weapon you choose, so if you choose the wrong starting weapon, or if you just don't get lucky and you have a weapon that you don't like, you might not have a great time. But when you have weapons that you really enjoy, the combat is pretty enjoyable. It's not overly difficult, it's not super hard, it's really easy to kind of figure out what the enemies are going to do and the best way to take them on. So no real complaints there with the combat. You do have to pay attention to the skills that you choose, because if you choose the wrong skills, you're gonna have a hard time. I chose to basically give these guys less health, which means I'm gonna run through things really fast, which is fun for me. Obviously, it's not the best choice for everyone, but you're gonna play it how you will. Level design, the levels are pretty straightforward. There's nothing really stand out about them. I didn't experience a lot of variety in my playthrough. I know that it's going to be entering early access in July, so maybe in July there'll be more of a variety. It definitely could use it. There's a little bit of a problem with space stations, spaceships, planets all kind of having the same set of level design. The weapons, I mean, I haven't had like 3 weapons, so I'm not really sure that I can switch through or if that's even going to do anything at all. The modifier screen, it's useful to know kind of what I'm using and any of that. The skill upgrade screen, that's nice. It's really pretty self-explanatory. I do like that you're able to kind of look around and find out what might be a good point of interest for you to do. And travel through space is also pretty nice as well. The dodge mechanic, it works. I mean, it's functional. It's not the most useful because often it's really easy to just kind of find yourself stuck in a wall or something like that. But once you get the hang of it, man, this game it's definitely one of those that you can play for a while. There's a ton of replay value in this demo alone, and if the demo, being such a small vertical slice of the game, has such a large amount of playable replay value, you know that the game itself is going to have a pretty good chance of being something you can pick up and play for quite some time if you so choose. So yeah, so Rightfully Bear Arms, upcoming roguelike shooter, really fun. Definitely recommended. I'm gonna buy this squirt gun just because I want to see if I can now basically switch weapons between the ones I have, because it doesn't make sense to pick up any weapon other than the second one if you are stuck using the same one, and I really don't know. I don't know. I don't know that you can do that. I didn't really see anything that kind of points out that you can use a weapon differently, or switch between the three. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you can. But either way, yeah. Not that I see. I can't. I can't see anything. None of the button presses seem to bring up anything. Disregard. You need basically a skill slot to knock that out. And you can also use a controller if you so choose. I prefer keyboard and mouse. Just gives me a little bit more, a little bit easier of a time to choose where I want to shoot. So if you like roguelites, and you like shooters, and you like bears, this is definitely a game you want to keep your eye on. You definitely want to give it a shot during the next fest. It is quite a lot of fun. You're going to probably play it for a good amount of time if you really get into it. Especially because the music is incredibly satisfying and catchy. It's just the right amount of difference, like tunes and everything involved in it, but it's just got the catchiest music. It almost reminds me of the Tetris theme, and I think that's probably why I like it so much. But definitely one of my top demos so far during Steam Next Fest. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show. I really hope you give Rightfully Barry Arms a good chance during Next Fest, because it is a lot of fun. Make sure you wishlist it. Tell your friends about it. If you don't have friends, make friends, and then tell those friends you just made about it. Not encouraging you to go into like an area where bears are and tell them about it, because bears might eat you, but hey, you do whatever's going to work best for you. But you let people know this is fun. They get to have fun. We all get to have fun. And it is, happy times for all of us. So, this is Matt from the Awesome Duo, giving a 2 thumbs up recommendation for Rightfully Barry Arms once again, and suggesting everyone gives it a shot during Next Fest. Wishlist it. The link will be in the description. That's all I have to say. I'm just saying the same things over and over again because I thought maybe I would run into the end of the level. I didn't. So there is no great stopping point. It's just going to be kind of over after I kill these things. I am going to go back to the nav map one last time. There is nothing else that I have to really kind of point out about it. This is just a really satisfying experience. So, definitely recommended. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you paying some attention to Rightfully Bear Arms. I don't know what I was going to say, but have a great time. And to all the bears everywhere, keep being a bear.